Welcome to Maths for Graduates. Today we will discuss a problem which will make our concept more clear. So let's start. In this question, we have a function f from interval 0, 1 to set of a real number, and it is defined by functional value at x equal to 1 over 2, it is 1, and other than that function value is 0 for all x, okay, except 1 over 2, okay. Then we have to check whether this function fx is integrable or not. If you see the graph of the function fx, you will see area under the curve is 0. So you can say intuitively that function fx is integrable, okay. Now let us prove this mathematically. So we know that f will be Riemann integrable if upper Riemann integral integration a to b bar f dx will be equal to lower Riemann integral, that is integration a bar b f dx, okay. And upper Riemann integral is what? This is infimum of upper Riemann sum UPF, okay, and this equals to lower Riemann integral is what? Supremum of lower Riemann sum, that is LPF, okay. So first we have to find upper Riemann sum UPF and lower Riemann sum LPF, okay. So in order to find UPF and LPF, we must do the partition of interval 0, 1. This is interval 0, 1, and suppose this is the partition of this interval 0, 1, okay. Suppose this point is x0, this is x1, this is x2, this is xr minus 1, this point is xr, and suppose this point is xn minus 1, and this is x1 xn, okay. So partition P will be x0, x1, x2, xr minus 1, xr, and xn, okay, and xn is 1, okay. Here there is something special which should be noted. This point 1 over 2 belongs to the rth subinterval, okay. This is very crucial part of this question, okay, so keep it inside your mind. Now quick chit chatting, let's find out our lower Riemann sum LPF, okay. We know that LPF equals to summation small mi delta xi, okay, and I is running from 1 to n, okay. And here mi is what? Mi is infimum of function fx in ith interval, okay, ith subinterval, and delta xi is length of ith subinterval, okay. So LPF equals to m1 delta x1 plus m2 delta x2 and so on, plus mr delta xr plus mn delta xn, okay. Now it is given that functional value of fx is 0 at every point in interval 0, 1 except 1 over 2. So infimum of function f will be 0 in every subinterval, even in rth subinterval, okay. Hence small mi infimum equal to 0 for all I. That means infimum of function fx will be 0 in every subintervals, okay. So on putting the value of mi, we have LPF equals to 0 into delta x1 plus 0 into delta x2 and so on, 0 into delta xn, this equals to 0. That means we have LPF equals to 0, okay. And let me tell you, LPF will always be 0 irrespective of partition P. No matter what partition you take, LPF will always be 0, okay. Hence supremum of LPF will also be 0, okay. And supremum of LPF is what? Supremum of LPF is known as integration a bar b f dx this equals to 0. Okay, this is lower Riemann integral. Okay, so lower Riemann integral will also be 0. Okay, now let's find out upper Riemann sum UPF. So UPF equals to summation capital Mi delta xi, and I is running from 1 to n. Okay, and here Mi is supremum of fx in ith subinterval. Okay, so this UPF equals to m1 delta x1 plus m2 delta x2 plus mr delta xr and so on plus mn delta xn. Okay, when you see the graph of the function fx, you will observe that supremum of fx in every subinterval is 0 except in rth subinterval. Okay, so mi equals to 0 for all interval I except rth subinterval. Okay, and in rth subinterval supremum is 1. Okay, hence UPF equals to, this will be here m1 is 0, m2 is 0, this mr is 1 and all the mi's are 0. Okay, so this UPF will be 1 into delta xr. Okay, so UPF is delta xr. Okay, now upper Riemann integral will be, we know that upper Riemann integral is, this is infimum of UPF. Okay, and here infimum, here UPF is delta xr. That means we have to find the minimum value of length of rth subinterval. Okay, and we know that choice of partition is up to us, so we can make this length as small as possible. Okay, so when this delta xr tends to 0, okay, so this infimum value will also tend to 0, and this implies integration a b bar f dx this equals to 0. Okay, so now you can see both upper Riemann integral and lower Riemann integral are equal and they are equals to 0. Okay, hence f is Riemann integrable. Okay, so this video ends here. If you really find this video informative, then show your support by subscribing the channel and also press the bell icon. Thank you. Thanks for watching.